What's up, friends? Welcome to The Beautiful Mess, where we talk about tools and tactics to improve your life. I fully admit this episode could be messy, so buckle up. What am I talking about? That's a good question. Today, let's talk about groups and why it's important to be part of a group and to belong, the sense of belonging to a group. So, I recently joined a CrossFit gym. Back in November, I decided it was like it's my goal for 2022 in particular, but last year as well, I kind of wanted to get fit. And in the midst of moving, I really didn't have a great chance to start doing it until I moved, settled down. We now have the house, and so it's been great. And so I found a local gym. I showed up, and I have to tell you, even before I stepped foot in the gym, I knew that this was a place where I could, 1, get fit, 2, I would get the support and encouragement I needed to stick with it, and 3, I mean, you talk about this in like professional sense, the customer journey. And I have to say, hands down, I mean, CrossFit is known for this, is that like they kind of, welcome you in, and everyone's so encouraging, and they got your back. It's a great environment. I'd highly recommend, if you're interested in checking it out, go find your local box and check it out. But I have just positive things to say about the gym that I've been a part of. Wonderful people, wonderful coaches, just great. And then there's like other groups. I've even made groups, and this is like something that I'll recommend, is like, if there's something that you're interested in learning or doing, even if you don't have the expertise yet, consider making a group if you cannot find one. And there is something about the size of the group that matters. So they've done studies where basically they found the optimal number of like people working together. I think it was around maybe 120. It falls along the same lines of those studies that have been done, that you can only have a certain number of close connections. I want to say like 140, something along those lines. So sometimes the smaller the group, the more you can get out of it. So that's something to consider as you're thinking about groups to join. There's so many different ways to benefit. Like with online learning becoming so big, they've realized that people would take courses. You can buy this course. Like there was this Pat Flynn. He talks about how he had this online course available that you could take online, and then he decided to make a cohort-based one where you're learning with a group of people. And one of the people actually bought, even though they bought the one that you learned on your own, they decided to buy like the more cohort-based one. And so basically they found that they enjoyed and stuck with it more with the one where you're in a group learning together. So it just goes to show you, like, just because you buy something like a course or something like that, you might not reap the benefits unless you're working together as a group, because you have that encouragement, you have that sense of people working towards a common goal. And I just recently, with a buddy of mine, it's actually Spencer, who also co-hosts this podcast. Hopefully we'll get him back on the episode soon. But Spencer and I decided to start a group around creators. And so we're kind of developing this group. If you're interested in learning more, feel free to reach out to me. But basically, it's a group of creators that, and in particular, I would say it's mostly geared towards YouTube at this moment, but I think we might expand it as time goes on. But right now, it's kind of like geared towards those that are interested in developing a YouTube channel and building an audience and what that looks like. And it's been amazing seeing the interactions of people from across the world, actually. I think we've maybe got one person in England. The rest might be in the States. I can't remember. But these people are not necessarily close to Spencer or myself. But they're people that are interested in a common goal. And so people might ask one question and a lot of people have the same interest, and so it's amazing to see, the amplification of people's interests and ideas, and like the ability to build upon that is amazing. I mean, mrbeast talks about this, where like, if you make mistakes and you have a group of people making mistakes with you, you'll learn so much faster. That's why it's so important to get a group of people to make mistakes together, because once you realize like the same mistakes are being repeated over and over again, you can correct those. And the same thing goes for what's going well. You can all see like these certain things are working well. Whereas if you're working by yourself, maybe you won't notice it. Or maybe the other person in the group will have an insight they'll be able to share with you that'll speed you along on your journey. So it's amazing just having a group of people working towards a common goal. And you'll get that if you either, that's why Reddit is so popular. It's like you can niche down to so like this minutia of like, whether it's just a single brand, a single idea, and you can post in that group and you'll get very specific answers that are helpful. And I'll be honest, like I had a question regarding a product, like a software, and I asked that in a group, and I actually got, I think, an answer faster and better within that group than I did from the company itself. Like I was in chat support with the company and it just took so long. So maybe even just for getting support, like just consider going to a place like Reddit or, you name it, like find your tribe, if you will, like find those things that you're really passionate about and surround yourself with people that'll help you move further. That's what it's all about. It's like, if you can find those people that have the same interests, then you'll go so much further, basically. Yeah. That's it. Because like sometimes you can feel like you're alone in this adventure. Like you're like, you look at your family and they think you're crazy because you're interested in this one topic and you're the only one. I think mrbeast was talking about this, where he felt that way because he was obsessed with YouTube. Like that's the one thing that he, ate, breathed, was YouTube. And, he found that he was able to find other people that were super passionate about YouTube. And then he basically, was able to build that community with other YouTubers. And now, it's a big thing. Like that's, I think what young people today aspire to be are YouTubers. Like that's probably like one of the biggest things that people aspire to be as young kids is like YouTube. And it's amazing that that's like even a career path. You think back 20 years, that obviously wouldn't be on many people's minds as like this whole influencer lifestyle. And so it's very fascinating to see that in play. So yeah, I would highly recommend finding other people that share the same interests. You can reach out to people, maybe you find that there's someone that's posting stuff on their social media accounts that you really enjoy. Maybe you can ask them if they're part of a group that you could join or would recommend, or maybe they'd be interested in starting a group with you. Because I think that's really where you can find a lot of growth and development, is from joining a group with people that want a common goal. Again, it's like if you want to work out, joining a group of people that also want to get fit and be healthy is a great solution, because basically, there's some, I forget like the terminology, but like basically when you surround yourself with people, you kind of take on characteristics of them. So it's so important to surround yourself with people that you want to become. I think, what is it? The saying, like, tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. And I think that's very true. It's like, if you want to make a big change in life, surround yourself, put yourself in the environment that's going to lead to that change. So also, so being in a group is one way, but then even things like moving to an area or working in certain environments can do that as well. So for example, right now, the company that I work for is officing out of this like think tank kind of creative entrepreneurial building. So there's a lot of, people walking in and out of offices, like, a lot of creative juices flowing. And I think you kind of get that energy, even though you might not necessarily know your office neighbor. You just get the sense of like, creativity and newness. So, sometimes it's your environment. Like if you feel stuck, try changing your environment. That's like a simple thing. Like maybe go to a coffee house instead of working at your desk. Maybe try reading a book. Like just like think outside the box. Don't feel like you have to do the same things over and over again and hope that something will change. It won't change unless you change. So make sure that you think outside the box and find new ways to surround yourself with like-minded people that'll help you succeed. When you're looking for your group, like you can also look locally. Don't be afraid to reach out to people in your area. Maybe ask them to go out for coffee. Even just like having a mentor. Like don't think it has to be like a huge group. Like it could even just be 2 people like that are interested in the same thing, because it's so much more interesting when you have somebody else interested in the same thing. You can share ideas, you can share books, you can share resources, and you can learn so much more as you go along, because all of a sudden, you're multiplying your efforts, because 2 brains equals, I don't know, some kind of benefit to you. So yeah, think about that. Think about people in your area that you can reach out to either make a group or join a group. But I highly recommend groups. I probably said groups way too many times in this episode. So maybe that's a sign that we are done talking about groups for today. Thanks so much for sticking around. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to subscribe, follow, rate, review, all that great stuff. And, we're wherever you can listen or basically watch podcasts, even YouTube, you name it, we're there. So love to be in contact with you. DM me. I'd love to hear from you. And until next time, my friends, stay messy.